Welcome back to Champions and Beyond. Now, in today's video, I'm going to attempt again to beat Zola with Domino. It's becoming a bit of a white whale for me, but I need to get this victory and move on, really. One thing I want to cover first is that I am doing another tweak to my tweaked precon. So it was pointed out in the last video that build support does go and fetch you XJet, but I hadn't read the card properly, or I have previously, and I just didn't click in my head that it doesn't work like Queen Carrier. I was treating it as Queen Carrier, you had to be an X-Men to play it and then anyone could use it. I was trying to be a bit more thematic with the XJet with X-Force. A simple substitution would just be to put the Queen Carrier in instead, because that card does work the way that I was trying to work it originally. However, I don't necessarily feel that this combination is what is losing me the games against Zola. Majority of my losses have been down to him scheming out and him scheming for a lot. So instead, I've removed these two cards and we have put in one copy of Demons Under Surveillance. Now, the reason that we put this one in is just because Domino has some great alter ego actions with her own ability on her card, then Pip the Pug and the Painted Lady. So ideally you want to make the most out of her alter ego as well. The thresholds of 6 and 8 for Zola have just been brutal. Every time I've flipped down, he's been flipping a 3 boost icon, scheming for 5, and in solo that's just too much for you to handle and keep hold of that main scheme. So we've got one copy of that. The idea is if we do flip down and still lose this, it'll be on top of our deck and we can swap it with a card in our hand to put it on the second scheme as well. So there is a way of recurring it if we need to. We've then added 2 copies of Counterintelligence. Now, Counterintelligence, every time they schemed for 5, we could cancel 3 of that and have him only scheme for 2. It would have saved quite a few other games. This does take it up to a 42 card deck, but considering we lose 2 of our allies at the start of the game, we are literally starting with a 40 card deck, which goes up to that. Again, if you're flipped down to alter ego where he's going to scheme most of the time anyway, having these, you can recur them from the top of your discard pile on the next hero phase. So didn't feel I needed more than 1 and 2 copies of each of these, but these are the substitutions for this next game. So let's get down to the table. Let's see how we get on. Okay, so let's try this one again. So we've got the allies in prison, we've got the minion out. Let's draw an opening hand. Lots of resources. Keep before justice. We'll get rid of 3. Okay, so let's do that, we haven't got enough for feral. So we're not going to take anything back out. Let's flip up. We are going to spend 1 to put in superpower training. We are going to swap jackpot with the top card of the deck. Doesn't really help us out, but we'll use the posse to do death focus. We're going to spend strength to do a 4 justice, which will clear this one straight away. So I didn't add the threat onto it. It goes into the victory display, and we are going to get probability field. So, and I've again done that in the wrong order because now I'm shuffling and I don't have jackpot on top of the deck. Silly mistake. So what we're going to do to begin with, I think we're just going to punch. We're not actually going to trigger probability field because we just want to take the tough off. And that will be it for turn 1. So 5 cards. So if we're going to add a single threat onto the main, that adds the first token. Zola is going to attack us. We're going to take the first hit. She's going to attack us for 1. So we're going to add another test counter, and he's going to attack for 3, and this one's going to attack for 4. So we're down to 5 already. We're going to get our encounter card. Ooh, Zola's Experiments. So we have 3 threat on that one. Ouch, so that's not what we wanted, but we're going to swap a Digging Deep to begin with. We are going to thwart for 1, 2, 3, add Digging Deep to our hand, and we're going to get rid of Zola's Experiments because we don't want them to go and get attachments all the time. So that's that dealt with. We are going to spend a Digging Deep to clear the area and clear 1 off of the main, drawing us a card. Right, so we are going to do this in this order. We're going to spend strength to put the surveillance team down on the main. Okay, so our discard pile, we're going to flip down and we're going to return the strength to our hand, and we're going to put back the other Digging Deep that we had. We're going to use strength to play Sharpshooter, ready for when we get our pistols, and that'll be it. We're going to keep hold of Pip the Pug because we'd quite like to get him into play. So we ready up. We're going to add 1 threat onto the main. We get our third counter, so we remove all of them and we discard. So we get another ultimate Bioservant, which comes back in with tough. Zola is going to scheme for 2 plus 1, so 3, and then 4 and 5. So we would have had 6 on, and it would have popped. But we've got the van, so we're okay for now. Our encounter card is an advance. So he's going to scheme for 2. And place a test counter. So we are up to 8 on the main. Right. So we are going to use White Fox to play Pip the Pug. We are going to use Pip the Pug to put White Fox back on top of our deck. We are going to flip up. We are going to spend the Power of Justice to put in a counter intelligence. A turn too late, really. We're going to play a Lucky Break. Now, we are going to attack for 3 and put White Fox into play with this one. So 3 onto that one. White Fox will punch and take this one out, actually. White Fox takes a damage. I think we would get rid of Atlas Bear at this time. So we are going to add 1 threat on and the second test counter. We should have readied. Zola is going to attack us. We are going to defend. He attacks for 3. We add 1 to our defense, so we defended for 4. We take no damage. We do take a damage from the soldier. We then get our encounter card, which is Neurological Enhancements. Which will go on the minion. So we're going to swap a good workout for a counter intelligence. We're going to spend 3 to put in Wolfsbane. So Wolfsbane is going to thwart for 2. And is going to name event, which a good workout is. We're going to take 2 off of the main. So that brings us back down to 6. White Fox is going to do an attack and knock the tough off. So we're going to spend 1 at Death Focus to do a good workout, dealing 4 damage here plus 2, which is enough to take the minion out. Right. For this time, we're not going to flip down. Because we are still pretty close to scheming out. But we get both of our pistols in hand this time. Probably didn't want both on the same turn. So, that's right, there might be a way around that. So, we're going to add 1 threat on, so we're going to go back up to 8. He's going to attack. White Fox is going to jump in the way. Hang on. Before we do that, we add a counter, which will then remove all 3 counters. We would then discard until we get the Berserk Mutate coming out. Now, he is going to Quick Strike. So White Fox will jump in the way of that one. Okay. Now Zola is going to attack, so we will take Zola's attack for 3, and then we are going to defend the Berserk Mutate. Oh, all the way down to 1 health. Not loving that. So we get our encounter card. Okay, we can't place any, we can't take any damage because we are on 1 health. So we have to add the 2 threat. Oh, not loving that as a hand. So we are going to start off. We are going to put 4 Justice on the top of our deck. Feral is going to thwart for 2 and reveal event, so we get 4 Justice back. We'll take 2 threat off of the Crisis. Now we're going to spend 2 and we're going to play one of our pistols. We are going to fire our pistol and deal 1-2, that will come to our hand, and then another one with Sharpshooter, 3 damage, which will take out the Berserk Mutate. we are going to use Death Focus to play Luck Be a Lady, and we get the jackpot. Happy days. So first jackpot, we get to remove 3 threat from the scheme, so we're going to get rid of the crisis. We get to deal 2 damage to an enemy, so it has range, we don't take any retaliate, and we get to heal 2, so we go back up to 3. Oh no, right, wrong way round. We heal 3 and we only remove 2 threat, so what we will do instead, we're going to leave the 3 on there, and we're going to take 2 off of the Hydra Prison. Yeah, so like that. We are then going to spend 2 to do a 4 justice to remove 4 threat, because we have used the wild. To bring these 2 back to our hand. That one leaves the game. And we shuffle, not that it'll matter. So because that's going to end our turn, we're going to draw up. We are going to get all 3 of those cards. We get another encounter card. So there we go. So that's ready up. Right, we're going to add 1 threat on. So we're up to 9. We get a counter. Zola is going to attack. We're going to throw Feral in the way. So he attacks just for 1, and that gets shuffled back into the deck. Right, we get our second encounter card. Feral is defeated. So, our encounter cards are Defensive Programming, which gains Surge. So that one gains Surge. We get Test Subjects with 2 threat on it. And then we get an Advance. Zola is going to scheme for 2. Just for 2, we're going to pop Counterintelligence to be able to cancel that. So there we are. Right. Okay, so we are going to fire our pistol first. Dealing, we get that in our hand, so 2, and then sharpshooter, 3 damage. So down to 7. Now we are going to thwart for 1, 2, 3, and we're going to get rid of the crisis. Which is fantastic. So we are going to put jackpot on the top of our deck. No, sorry, we should still have those in our hand, because then we're going to use that one and digging deep to do right place, right time, and remove 6 threat. So we are going to bring that all the way down. Give us a bit of breathing room. That one is going to get shuffled in. So we're going to spend 3 to bring Outlaw into play. She has a tough. And what we're going to do is we're going to thwart 1 with her to get rid of the tough. To take 1 off the side scheme. We're now in a position we can flip down. And we can add let's add right place, right time back on with Pip. Okay. So six cards. So we're going to add 1 threat back on to 4. We get a second counter. And Zola is going to scheme for 2. For 2, and we get another counter. So we were already going to get 1 minion next turn anyway, so never mind. We are then going to get 2 encounter cards. So we're up to 6 on the main. Our first encounter card is Mind Ray. He's going to scheme for 2 and shuffle that one back into the deck. The worst part about that is we are confused. Which we needed not to be confused. And then our second card is a Berserk Mutate, which doesn't really matter. So start off with Pip the Pug. Let's put Domino's pistol back on top. We are going to flip up. And we are going to exhaust to get rid of our confuse. We are going to swap White Fox with the top card of our deck, which is the pistol. We are going to fire our pistol, which will put White Fox into play. We then get an additional card because of this one, so only 2 damage, which is not fun. But yeah, 2 damage from the pistol. Now, White Fox is going to thwart and get rid of the side scheme. Now, so White Fox is going to attack for 3, so that will take out the Berserk and mutate. We are going to use Feral and Death Focus to do a right place, right time. 14 for 4 in total. We're going to use 2 cards to put in the other pistol and immediately fire that one. So 1, 2, 3 damage. Right, and we'll keep hold of 4 Justice to help clear the threat next turn. So we're going to add 1 threat on, and we add another counter. We then remove 3, so we leave 1 on. We are going to discard. And do we reveal it or do we put it into play? Yeah, that trigger is put it into play. So we just get the mutate. We don't have to go and search for the additional attachment. So we are going to defend against Zola. So he's going to attack for 1. Yeah, we're not triggering that one. We then do take 1 damage from the mutate. So we are down to 3. We get an encounter card, which is another mutate, but this one does go and search. And this one is going to get pain inhibitors. So let's make a start. Let's put Jackpot on top of the deck and draw an energy. We'll use energy to put another counterintelligence down. We are going to fire our first pistol, dealing 3 damage. And we're obviously firing at the one that has pain inhibitors, so that we don't get hit with the retaliate. and a second jack, so 6 damage. Which will then leave White Fox to take him out. Double Jackpot was not bad. They're the cards in my hand, so reshuffle. So we're then going to fire the second pistol. No, actually, we are going to do Outlaw's attack first for 3 on this mutate. Okay, then we are going to do our other pistol and deal 2 damage, which is enough to take that one out as well. Oof. Right, so we will then spend 2 to do a 4 justice and remove 4 threat, leaving us with just 1 on the main. And then we're going to flip back down. We've got everything under control now. It's taken us a while, but we're in control. We're going to use Pip to return Diamondback to the top of our deck, and then draw 6 cards. Grab our tokens, we add 1 threat on, we add a second counter. Zola is going to scheme for 2 plus deal 1 damage to each character you control. So we're down to 2 life, and White Fox and Outlaw are both defeated. But he schemes for 2. We're happy to leave it at him just scheming for 2. We then get our encounter card, which is going to be Pain Inhibitors, which is going to get Surge into the mutate. Comes in with Tough. Okay, so we are going to add what are we going to add back? White Fox back on top of our deck. We are going to heal for 3, 4. Bringing us back up to 6. White Fox will come into play. We are then going to flip up. White Fox is going to knock the Tough off of the Bioservant. We are going to put Jackpot back on top of the deck. We're going to put Overwatch on the main scheme, just in case we get any side schemes coming out. We're then going to spend Death Focus to do a Luck Be a Lady. And surprise, surprise, it's Jackpot. We got to 9, we remove 2 threat, which is going to leave us with 2 on the main, and we're going to deal 2 damage, so I think we're going to deal that 2 to Zola. and it's 2 cards, so let's spend 2 cards and put Diamondback into play. And we are going to exhaust Diamondback and discard the top card to deal damage to everything, and it's jackpot. Now the jackpots start rolling. So Zola 1 is defeated. We are going to have to go and get test subjects, which was out earlier. There it is. Oh, I didn't do the when defeated first time. I'll have to just apologise for that now, because that was a while ago. I'm not going to be able to go back and try and figure out what happened in that time. So yeah, test subjects. So 1 up there, and he comes back with 14 life. Life. So again, jackpot is shuffled in, but again it's only 2 cards. We will fire a pistol, 3 damage. I am trying to do this without looking and remembering which one it is, but and then 4 damage. So 4 damage. We then fire the other pistol. Now I think this works that we discard. We immediately have no deck, so we have to shuffle. So 3 damage, and then we shuffle that one back in. And then with sharpshooter, we add an additional damage. So that's going to be 4 damage, bringing him down to 6. Now, we are going to get another minion this time, so let's see what we get. But we're going to add 1 threat onto the main, taking us up to 3. We get our 3rd test counter. So a mutate comes out. Zola is going to attack us for 2. And he gets a tough status card. So down to 7, down to 6, down to 5. I didn't ready everything, I just readied the characters, and I didn't draw up. Not that I think it will make much of a difference. Yeah, it wouldn't have made a difference. So We then get our encounter card, which is going to be Concussion Blasters, which is just going to give him an additional retaliate. But I actually don't think that matters at this moment in time. Not really in the grand scheme of things. So, Outlaw is going to deal 2 damage to everything. So we'll knock this tough off, we will kill this one. And deal 2 damage. We're going to swap Digging Deep with an Overwatch. And we're going to use Death Focus to do Luck Be a Lady, which we know is 2 wilds. We are going to just deal 2 damage and 2 damage, taking him down to 2. They are only deal damage, so they're not retaliate eligible. And then we fire the pistol for another jackpot. I'm not going to go through it all because that will take him out. Although I suppose actually, if we do it as we think, we kill this one, we shuffle jackpot back in. And then, so it would have been for 5 damage, which would well overkill that one. We then fire the other pistol, which is another jackpot. Shuffle that back in. And another 5 damage. So that would take out Zola. We have a couple of wilds, we could get rid of that. We could thwart for 1, 2, clear, 2 off that, 2 off of that. We would go and get another minion, but and then White Fox would clear that one. We'd be left with 1 minion in play. So finally, those additional deck tweaks really helped with this scenario. I still think the original deck, minus the X-Jet with the Quinn Carrier instead, is a solid choice going up against most villains. This one is, I think, quite a tough matchup for Domino, but obviously very doable. So thank you very much for watching. Until next time, happy gaming.